All right, so here's part one of the video of what we talked about today, Tuesday, April 23rd. So the first thing we talked about is perimeter, and we talked about perimeter, like you guys have known perimeter for a few years now. It's not difficult. All I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all the sides. So perimeter is just the distance around any polygon. And so here I have an equilateral triangle. So I know if it's an equilateral triangle, then all three of my sides are going to be congruent. And so if all three sides are congruent and one of them is 14 1/3, then it's going to be 14 1/3 plus 14 1/3 plus 14 1/3. Or I could always just do 14 1/3 times 3. Well, 14 times 3 is 42. And then 3 times 1/3 is 1, so 42 plus 1 is 43. So my perimeter is 43, and my units are centimeters. Number 2, I'm looking for a perimeter of a trapezoid. Well, again, I'm just going to measure the distance around all sides. So 20 plus 21 plus 23 plus 21. So that's going to give me 20, 40, 60, 85. So 85 of my units are inches. So 85 inches. Number 3, I have a rectangle. What I know about rectangles is that this side is congruent to this side. And I know that this side is congruent to this side. So then I can just add up this plus this and multiply that by 2, or I can just add up along. But what I know about my rectangle helps me to get my perimeter, and so you can just find it easily that way. Number 4, I have a square. What I know about a square is all 4 sides are congruent. And if all 4 sides are congruent, this side is 1/4 of a mile, this side's 1/4 of a mile, this side's 1/4 of a mile, and this side's 1/4 of a mile, so 1/4 of a mile times 4 is going to give me 1 mile. Number 5, parallelogram. So yeah, it's kind of looks weird at that angle, but if I show it to you straight, it is a parallelogram. So this side and this side are going to be congruent because opposite sides are congruent. Opposite sides are congruent. So it's basically the same as my rectangle, and so all I'm going to do is just add up all my sides, and that's my parallelogram. And in fact, we know that a rectangle is a parallelogram, and so that's why that it holds true, because my rectangle is in fact a parallelogram. Last one, a triangle. I'm just going to add up my 3 sides, and then I'm going to get my perimeter. So perimeter, pretty easy, and that is part 1 of what we talked about today.